Hello, and welcome. Welcome to Elite Insights with Toni Patillo, where wisdom meets legacy. I'm your host, Toni Patillo, and today I'm honored to feature someone I personally work with and deeply admire. She is not only a brilliant CPA, but also a very strategic thinker, a philanthropist, a lifelong learner, a woman of purpose and heart. So I really want to get right into it. Thank you, Barbara, for joining us today. Barbara Oldham, CPA, founder of Elite Financial Strategies, Inc., a firm focused on building tax efficient structures for business owners, executives, and entrepreneurs. Barbara brings over 25 years of experience across individual and corporate tax strategy, trust, and nonprofit entities. She does international taxation and more. She also serves as the chairwoman of the Pieces of a Dream Foundation, empowering underprivileged families, and is currently pursuing her PhD in psychology. She's a published author, a community leader, a mother, and a grandmother. And we are so lucky, so lucky to have you with us today, Barbara. Thank you. So we're going to get right into these questions. And number one, you wear a lot of hats. You wear a lot of hats.
My husband says
Yes.
that.
Yeah, you wear a lot of hats. CPA, doctoral candidate, author, philanthropist. What is it that motivates you to keep expanding and evolving your expertise?
I have seen in my community, just time and time at how we have passed things down to generation because of learned
Uh,
behavior. And one of the reasons I decided to pursue my doctorate in psychology is for that very reason. It really breaks my heart when I meet people who's repeating the same patterns over and over and over again when it comes to financial
mhm,
literacy. So that's my
mhm,
driving, uh, insight as to why I want
mhm.
to do this. Even in my age group now, people have asked me, like, "You don't wanna retire?" I'm like, "What is that?" No, I don't wanna retire. I have no desire. I'm grateful to God for allowing me to be at the age that I'm at and still wanting to be a teacher, uh, and an advocate for communities and to help people
Yeah,
to thrive.
that's beautiful. Very beautiful. It's
Thank
so
you.
nice when we get to a point in our lives where we can like connect with what our true purpose is, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
So, can you tell us about your decision to launch Elite Financial Strategies Inc. and what was the vision behind that? Because I know you've worked with a lot of
Oh,
different
gosh.
companies.
Yeah. In the previous company that I worked with for over a decade, I felt that it wasn't rewarding enough. And so, again, it goes back to what I believe that God's purpose is for my life. So I decided to branch out on my own independently and hire qualified staff members to be able to assist me so that we can touch more people's
Mhm.
lives. And it just goes back to, again, the mission and purpose that I feel not just am I learning something new every single day of
Mhm.
my life, but I'm also teaching other people. One of the biggest gifts that God gave me is to be a really good
Yeah.
communicator.
Yeah.
And so I remember what even as early as this morning, I met a former professional athlete who said that when he joined the NFL more than a decade ago, that he had financial advisors and they really didn't do
Mm.
anything to help him. So now he sits with over $200,000 worth of tax debt
Ooh.
because they didn't communicate, they didn't do the job. And again, that's another, you know, purpose. That's another mission driven to be able to help and assist people that really, unfortunately, because that's not the area of expertise that they're in, they're depending on other
Mhm.
people.
Mhm.
So I would say in terms of that, that's what I feel that
Mm.
my mission and my
Sure,
purpose is.
sure.
Yes.
Oh, you know, God, that story just rocked me for a minute because I know that to be true. And I've worked with athletes and celebrities, entertainment folks, and they had they had advisors that were really not advising. If they weren't advising them,
Yeah,
they were just there. So it's really important for people to connect with people who it's not just about the money. So
yeah. And he said that. He said, "I make a lot of money." He said, "I've made a
yeah.
lot of money." He said, "Honestly, I had no
Mm,
idea what to do." And he said, "They only gave me bits and pieces. They was only
mm-hmm,
concerned about, what was in
mm,
it for them." So
wow.
it's
But it's
sad, but
real.
it's real.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So um what are some of the most common tax mistakes that business owners make that can easily be avoided with the right strategy?
The biggest common mistake that they make is not being set up under the right corporate
Uh-huh.
entity. That would be number 1. The second would be not hiring a professional. And even going as far as vetting and understanding and communicating. Every client I take on, they're either interviewing me and I'm interviewing them,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
right? Because you wanna make sure that
Mhm.
it's a good fit. But 100% will go back to number 1, and the main problem is not being set up underneath the right
Mhm.
corporation. Because back in the day, just to file a Schedule C was a big
Mhm.
deal,
Mhm.
right? So people was out there saying, "Oh, all you need is a LLC," which is a sole proprietor. All LLC starts out as a sole
Mhm.
proprietor. Every single one. You have to know enough about corporate entities to be able to either elect to file as a different corporate entity, which is an S corporation, or you have to definitely have some gauge or some idea or find a financial advisor who know the difference between every single corporation that's available to you depending on the type of business that you're in.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Okay. So it's all about the entity and getting the right strategy for the entity. Um,
Oh, and let me add this as
sure.
well, Tony. You know, this is what I really, really want people to understand. There is a significant difference in going to someone who prepare
Yeah.
taxes versus going to a taxation
Uh-huh.
specialist or a taxation
Right.
strategist or a financial planner or a financial
Yeah.
strategist. It's a significant difference between the 2, and I think that people think, "Oh, their auntie or friends of the family and people like
Mhm.
that can handle their needs." But if you're in a certain income bracket, you can't just go to H&R
Right.
Block.
Right.
You and I don't wanna put them out there because 'cause I'm sure they do good work there, but you really what they're assigning you to is a person who only prepare taxes.
It's
And in
like we had
terms
a
of only
freeze here.
preparing taxes, you become robotic. A
Mhm.
t a taxation specialist is not robotic.
Right.
They're looking at all of the intricate details and how it's going to benefit their
Mhm.
client.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can see that. I see the difference big time. Uh, so you've worked with entrepreneurs, executives, and private banking clients even. How do you tailor your strategies to serve such a wide range of financial profiles?
It's generally based on
Mhm.
the income. Private banking, you have to make at least 3,000,000
Mhm.
plus to even qualify for
Mhm.
private banking. 99.9% of my clients make over $1,000,000, literally. And the only 1% that I left out is because family members are calling me and they don't make it, so I assist them as well. But, you really have in order to be strategic, you have to make money to be
Mm.
strategic. Does that
Mhm.
make sense? So someone who's making under $100,000 a year, you know, they may not be able to afford a taxation
Right.
strategist because, those are it really just kinda depends on what their future goals is and their aspirations, and that's one of the reasons why I have a meeting and an interview with my clients, is because even if they are making 100 or 150,000 a year plus, they still need to know what their options are.
Mhm.
And generally, people that's making under that, even though some of them work as sole proprietors, it could certainly benefit them to find someone who's a little bit more
Mhm.
skilled
Mhm.
to be able to assist them and guide them through the process so as they
Yep.
grow, they'll be able to develop a better strategic plan for what the final outcome is
Right.
going to be.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. So we talked about the mistakes. Now, how about loan out corporation? Uh, can you explain what a loan out corporation is and why it's so popular in industries like entertainment and real estate?
Sure. Yeah, it's actually great for and certainly a benefit. Generally, when someone is signed to a movie deal or a regular recurring role and everyone doesn't qualify for a loan out corporation. Let's just say that there's actors. There's actors who sporadically get a role, sporadically get a
Yeah.
commercial. They're generally getting
Okay.
W-2 income,
Hmm.
okay? And because there's a balance between the 2. So, that's a little bit more advantageous for them if they're a W-2 income, right? Because they're already having some level of federal withholdings
Hmm.
taken out. But there are quite a few clients that I actually work with that is in the acting industry. You have to be an S corporation or you have to be a C corporation in order to even qualify for the
Hmm.
loan out. The agencies will not accept an LLC as a loan out corporation because the liability that comes along with operating your business as a limited liability corporation, if something happens, the studio itself can be sued
Hmm.
for it.
Hmm.
If you come in, and that's what they call a loan out. It sounds like they're doing a loan, but basically what they're doing is paying and reporting. If you made $1,000,000, they're reporting it to your corporate entity and not to you as an
Yeah.
individual. So you get to keep more money in your
By you
pockets.
by
So they
having a
happen to
loan
call
out.
it loan.
Uh-huh.
That
Oh,
is correct.
interesting.
You get to get if you're getting $1,000,000, you get to keep your $1,000,000 and whatever it is between you and your taxation strategist, you guys determine based on what your income is, what your expenses is, determine what your net is going to be, which reduces your tax
Well,
liability as
right.
well.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. That's how they do it.
So
Yeah.
that's how they do it. The higher income professionals that are acting, they definitely have loan out
Uh-huh.
corporations.
Uh-huh.
Anyone making 6 figures need to have a loan out corporation, which is either an S corp or a C corporation. And just to explain the difference between the 2 just briefly, an S corporation fees back to your personal taxes. Um, it is a K-1 that is issued to you. And a C corporation have no effect on your personal taxes whatsoever. It's one of my favorite corporate entities because I would like to be able to take W-2 income for myself and only report my W-2 income. In an S corp situation, I have to report the K-1 in addition to my W-2 income.
Mhm. Okay. Okay.
So that's the difference between the 2. And just for the record, a partnership cannot have they cannot qualify as a loan out
Oh,
corporation
really?
either.
Okay.
LLC, single member cannot, and a partnership Form 1065
Mhm.
cannot.
So, I wanna be clear about what this loan out company or loan out what do they call it? Loan out,
They call it just a loan out.
corporation.
Yeah, it's just a loan out
Yeah,
corporation.
so
Yeah.
if we break it down to us in layman's terms, we're like, "Okay, the loan out," but
I mean,
is it, I'm just trying to get a grasp on what in our real estate world, what would that look like? So
same thing. It's just not called a loan out
oh,
corporation. That's something they made up in the
oh,
acting industry.
oh,
It's the
no
same thing.
kidding.
And I was about to
Yes.
explain that. I was about
Mm,
to say to you, look at it in your entity. You can submit a
yes.
W-9
Mhm,
to the whatever organization it is that you're
mhm.
working for. It's
Yeah,
no different. It's a 100%
got it.
same thing. So technically, you guys are loan out brokers or loan out real estate.
Yeah, I got it.
You have a loan out
Mhm.
corporation for that because you're still what you're doing is taking advantage of the business, um, getting the income versus you as an individual. So it's certainly a great tax
Got
strategist for
it, got
people.
it. Okay, we'll have to talk further about that one. We're gonna talk about your grant writing expertise
Ah,
and the nonprofit impact. As a chairwoman of Pieces of the Dream Foundation, do you, you do this important work for underprivileged families. What inspired you to take this on?
actually, it initially started, believe it or not, with me wanting to help and assist people in federal
Mm,
prison.
mhm,
A friend of mine had the unfortunate opportunity of being accused of something that he did
Mhm,
not do. And, of course, he was at a camp and that type of thing. But, whenever you're in the system, you're in the system. When he was released, which was very few months, he only did a few months there. But when he was released, he had lost his
mhm,
business. He had lost
mm,
everything. He couldn't take care of his
mhm,
family. And so that initially what inspired me about Pieces of a Dream Foundation and having to really have compassion for someone that the system
making
failed, right? So as a result of that, we decided as a group, my board of directors, that we would not just assist people. And in terms of assisting them, let me answer that first. We wanted to be able to offer grants to people who's trying to restart their
mm,
life. $50,000 can be a game changer to someone either coming out of federal prison or who has never been
mhm.
exposed. Now, my firm would manage the financing to make sure that it's being allocated in a
Yeah.
responsible way.
Mhm,
But to be able to give someone a $50,000, gift from our nonprofit can, again, it can just change a person's
mhm,
life. Number one, it would give them the incentive without having to do it, having a credit
yeah.
profile or without having to say, "Oh, I need, W-2s or tax returns or anything
mhm,
like that." You just say, "Hey, here's a fresh start. This is exactly what we want to do for you, and this is what we're willing to do to even teach and
Mm,
help you to grow
mhm,
your business." Right? So again, underprivileged families is the same thing. Do you realize that how many people are making under
mm,
$35,000 a year, living in low income housing? It's big in Atlanta, so I know it's big in California. And just imagine them being gifted from a nonprofit. Again, I'll use the number $50,000. Again, it could be 25, it could be 50,000, it could be
mhm,
75,000, it could be $100,000. Imagine someone with a financial background educating them and holding their hand through the process. It's life
mhm,
changing
mm,
because then they can see how the other side lives and how important it is to just follow their vision and stay consistent. And then once their company get on their feet and start, running a successful business, which generally takes about 3 to 5 years anyway,
Yeah.
we've just created another, you know, household that can now live a comfortable life in this United States of America we
Yeah.
live in. Because it's definitely about how much
Mm,
money you make. I don't care what anyone says, that's what it's
mhm,
about.
mhm. Yeah, that's very interesting. So you've thank you for sharing that. That was very, very powerful because and true that we can make a difference in someone's life like that. Right.
Yes, because when I mean, think about the society we
mhm,
live in now. Think about the impact that money can do. Well, let's talk about the lottery just for a brief
Mm,
second, right? Someone wins a lottery, you win $1 million. I've seen people go through it in less than
mm,
6 months.
mm.
You know why? Because that's all
Yeah.
they know. They be spending money instead of investing the money. They don't know
mhm,
any better. And this stems back to what I said earlier is learned
Yeah.
behavior.
Yeah.
But if they had someone to say, this is what we're offering. We're going to do classes with you. We're going to teach you how to invest. We're going to show you so that you can
Mm,
maintain and keep your financial literacy. We're going to help you get your credit built back up. These are the things that we're going to do for you to keep you
right.
on track. Because once you've been taught
Yes.
something, it's life
Sure.
changing. It's not like you can go back
Yeah.
at that point,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. And so that's one of the things that the previous NFL young man said to me earlier. He said, "Honestly, ma'am," he said, "I didn't
Mm,
have a clue." He said, "I was making all of this money." And he said, "I was just out there with no guidance
wow.
whatsoever."
Mm, wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and think about all the
Oh,
athletes,
yeah.
not just in
Sure.
football, basketball. You know, I mean, imagine someone giving them a $5 million
Mm,
contract. And what do they do? And I hate to stereotype us, but in our community, they want to go buy an expensive car,
Uh-huh.
designer
Uh-huh.
clothes. As they are very much an asset, those things can also be detrimental.
yeah.
And we're focused more on image than we are what our future looks like.
Hmm. Mm, wow. So I wanna trigger over to that grant writing space, and I know
Okay.
you have a lot of expertise in in that space, and I want you to share with us why that skill is so powerful for nonprofits and for small business owners.
Well, I believe in OPM. That's easy. Other people money.
Uh, uh,
So one of the amazing things about living here in the United States and being an American is that there are opportunities and there are so many available uh, grants, meaning funding that we can get tax
mm,
free. When it's going to your nonprofit, even though it's income for the nonprofit, it's still non
Mhm.
taxable,
Mhm.
right? So You know, like for instance, one of my clients just applied for a $2.5 million grant, and she has been awarded
Mm.
that grant. But she gets a grant every year from the government side of the state of Georgia,
mhm.
right? So now she's been with them. This is her 21st year as a
Wow.
nonprofit, and she gets over, like I said, in this particular grant, she gets $1.2 million a year. And then she recently applied for another one, it was a little over 2
Mhm.
million.
And that's to run the
So,
business? What type of business does she have?
yeah, it's a
Uh-huh.
nonprofit.
Got it.
It empowers, uh, kids as young as 5 and as I think they go until they're
Okay.
17.
Mhm.
And she helps change their life, teach them, all different types of,
Right.
etiquette, um, things that is important as you
Mhm.
grow up. The last, convention I went to, she had a
Oh,
cotillion. They did a cotillion, and they do
uh-huh.
stage plays, and it's just giving them a lot of great
Yeah.
lessons of
Yeah.
life that they can take into adulthood and
Okay.
achieve. And again, she's been doing it for 21 years. So it's a very successful. I'm using her as an example because it's a very successful nonprofit,
Mhm.
but any type of funding that can come into your business, whether it's non-taxable or applying for a business line of
Yeah.
credit. And a lot of people are very confused about that. They think that when they apply for a business line of credit and they're awarded that business line of credit, they're under the assumption that that's income. That is not
Uh-huh.
income.
Okay.
And a loan is non-taxable.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't
Yeah.
know that. I've talked to a lot of professionals that had no idea
But it yeah.
that if they got a $1 million loan. Again, a grant is one thing, a loan is other. That's two different
Uh-huh.
things. When you're getting the grant, that is
That
income.
is income.
That
Okay.
grant
And it
is
is taxable.
income. But because it's nonprofit on the nonprofit
Uh-huh.
side,
Uh-huh. Mhm.
right? On the nonprofit side, it is non-taxable from that perspective,
Mhm.
right? But if you are perfect. I have another client that recently got a grant, and that was all
Mhm.
taxable.
Mhm.
She was building a property. She's in California. Can't think. It's called an
Oh,
ADU
yeah,
or
she's
something
building
like
an
that.
ADU on a sewer property.
Mhm.
Yeah, and all of that grant that she received, all that money was 100%
Mhm.
taxable. She had to pay taxes on it. So there are some situations everything is not
Yeah,
non-taxable as it relates to getting a grant, and that was a state grant from
yeah,
California.
interesting. Okay, cool. So, without naming any names, can you share a story where your financial or tax strategy had a transformative effect on a client's life or business?
That's so easy. Thank God for that. I would say that my most recent, which was about 2 weeks ago,
Mm.
I had a client that owed the IRS. She had received money from her parents' estate. They had passed away, her and 2 of her siblings, and it was an astronomical amount of money. The IRS issued her a 1099-S, and in preparation of her tax return, the 1099-S, even though she invested, she made some great power moves as it relates to reducing her liability based on what she received, because as a single person, it's 250. As a married couple, it's a half a
Mhm.
million, but she received way over
Mhm.
$800,000. So I actually went in and prepared her tax returns for her, listed her investments in addition to her capital gains that she received as a single person. The IRS initially rejected it. I filed an abatement. Abatement is a Form 843. I sent them all the supporting documentation to substantiate everything that was on her return. It took them about 18
Mm,
months. They sent a letter to her about 2 weeks ago and said, "Thank you. We've processed and received your amended return in addition to your abatement. You now owe us
mm,
$961."
wow.
She was like, soon as I arrived, she took me out to dinner.
Oh, that's funny.
She's so yes, I feel like that was life
Yeah.
changing. Can you imagine having to pay the IRS? You maybe only, walked away with a half a million dollars, and you have to give the IRS $160,000 of that money.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
not fair. That's your
Mhm.
money.
100%.
It was because of the sale of the property of her parents' estate is how she gained it. Her and her siblings gained it anyway. That's not
Mhm.
fair. So she did everything right. She followed the directions of her financial advisor, meanwhile. And so she did exactly what I told her to do as it relates to investments. We fought it, and bingo, she came out ultimately in the end with paying just a little less than $1,000.
Mm, wow. That's amazing.
There's so many stories, but that's one specifically we don't have all day because I can give you about 5 or 6 other ones,
For
right?
sure.
So, it's really about going to someone who really know their craft and, advising you
Mhm,
accordingly.
mhm. I have the same scenario when working with clients that are buying or selling real estate, and
Mhm,
they really they trust you. I mean, this is a scenario where they need your expertise, and you are there to be of service to them and support them and help them. So for us, the more skills that we have, the better equipped we can be to really bring value to a client's space, and that rings well with both the financial industry as well as the real estate industry or the medical industry. Is same thing. The expertise is what, and the compassion. Okay, the expertise and the compassion. So I really resonate with that. Uh,
When I lived in Los Angeles before too, Tony, one of the things I went to quite a few real estate
Mhm.
conventions, and I'm not a real estate agent, never have been, nor do I have a desire to be. So my sales aspect of my life
mhm.
is over. That was in my
Right.
teens, right? But I went to so many because my friends were either real estate agents or a real estate broker.
Mhm.
You would be amazed at how many people I met that said exactly what you
Mm,
just said. And I ended up, as a result of that, getting quite a few
Mhm.
clients at that
Mhm.
convention. And not that I was even looking, I just went because my friends asked me
yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
But, working with agents and brokers in this business has really also helped me to get
Mm,
clients and advise them
Mhm.
accordingly.
Mhm.
yeah. It's like having experts in every genre that you can imagine that you have connected with, and that's what we do. We pride ourselves of collaborating and building our net worth so that we can have all the resources there available to our clients and our clients first and foremost, and then whoever else
Mhm.
might need assistance in these areas. We have a bank of resources that we can pull from. So you're one of those
Absolutely.
banks. You're one of those people that I
Thank you.
consider to be a part of our tribe, and that's what we're here to do, is build a tribe and build a real force for business. Um,
Good.
what's the greatest client experience that really affirmed your purpose in doing this work? That's a good question.
I think all of my experience
Mhm.
has been rewarding. Um, whether it's helping someone to purchase a house that never thought they'd be a
Right.
homeowner. Um, I can't honestly think of anyone. When I go into it, I go in just to help
Yeah.
people. I've made some great financial choices. I'm not working because I have
Mm-hmm.
to. I'm working because I
Yeah.
choose to.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. So every experience that I've had now, I have in the past couple of years changed my income
Mhm.
bracket because how do I say this? I don't want to call people low income, but as I've grown into this business, it has become more advantageous to advise people that I have something to
Right.
work with versus those
Yeah.
that I don't. Does that
Sure.
make
Sure.
sense? Uh, not that the lower income bracket doesn't deserve someone that is
Right.
skilled, because
Yeah.
they do. All people do
Yeah.
deserve that. It's just makes it a little bit more realistic when you're working with people making a certain income, and that income bracket is generally about 250
Yeah.
and above.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay.
But all people deserve help. Trust me, I would talk to somebody sitting and waiting for a city bus if they asked me something like, how do any
Yeah.
question. I'm not that person. I came from humble
Mhm.
beginnings. And one of the reasons that I am in the business that I am today is because of the humble beginnings and how I was initially
Yes.
raised.
Yes.
Great
Yes.
household, but very much humble
Mhm.
beginnings.
Mhm.
Beautiful. So you're currently pursuing your PhD in psychology. That's
Right?
good for you. Uh, how does that connect with the work that you're doing right now and your bigger vision?
In this business, you need a psychology degree.
I might have to agree with that. Uh, yeah.
I think it has helped me to become a better
Mm.
listener,
Mhm.
believe it or
Mhm.
not. Having, working in the world of psychology have not only put me in a position where I analyze
Yeah.
myself, I don't analyze just other people. I have to also analyze myself and allow God to lead me in what direction He have me. uh, to move forward in my
Mm.
life. Um, so that would probably be my answer as it
Yeah.
relates to that. Uh, you know, I I will just say that psychology, and of course I have a master's in finance and accounting. I've always been really good with numbers, even when I was a kid, right? But incorporating that with psychology degree, I just feel that it gives me a little bit more impact onto how to deal with each person
Mhm.
individually.
Mhm.
It's all different type of
Yeah.
personalities.
That's no question. That's a great. I admire and I see the coherency with the two because we do. We often act as therapists for our clients, and it's it's the nature of the beast. But I don't mind it. It's kind of a rewarding thing too. It's part of the process
Absolutely.
of being of service and helping to make a difference in someone's life.
Mhm.
That's key.
Let me add this on that piece
Sure.
too. I read A Course in Miracles years ago. And just to give you a little insight on A Course in Miracles, Helen Schumann was one of the scientists that wrote it. Her and a group of other scientists had got together to prove that God did not
Uh-huh.
exist, or that Jesus did not exist. How
Uh-huh.
about that? Right. And so, as they became writers in terms of putting together A Course in Miracles, Helen Schumann became a scribe, my southern accent, SCRIBE,
Ascribe.
for
Mhm.
Jesus.
Okay.
Actually, the other scientists passed away during the process of them writing this book. It's one of the most powerful books I've ever
Mm.
read. She actually would be up in the middle of the night and she would just be writing because the Holy Spirit was speaking to her, right? And so at that moment, this atheist now become a believer, right? But one of the most important tools that I got from that is that Jesus said he just wants us to love each other and care for each other, right? And that if I look at you and I see fault
Mm.
in you, it's because I see fault in
Mhm.
myself.
Mhm.
And I never forgot that. So I can't sit and judge or be critical of another
Yeah.
person without looking at the faults and choices and decisions that I've made. And even taking that back to the financial literacy side, Tony. When I was younger, I wanted every designer label in the
Mhm.
world, right? So how can I judge someone now, the young people now who's not doing it? All I can do now is be an advocate and tell them, yes, these things are cute and they're nice to have, but let's look at it from a different angle. Let's take some of this and
Mm.
invest it.
Mhm. Mhm.
So again, if I see fault in you, I really need to question myself and ask myself, why am I quick to
Mhm.
judge? And why do I not see the same fault in
Mhm.
myself? Because really, technically, we are all one, whether we want to
Yeah.
accept it or not.
Yeah. That's so true. Wow. Thank you. That was very powerful. Um, so I talked about your PhD. Uh-oh, you published your first novel, The Fallen Pedestal. What?
But
What
yes,
inspired you to write? What is the core message of the book?
actually,
It's called The Fallen. I didn't know
actually,
about this.
yeah, yeah. No, I don't talk about it very much. It was the number one bestseller on
Okay.
Amazon. That's because I have so many friends and clients. And they just went book wide. One of my clients bought like
Oh
100
my.
copies. I was like, what are you? He says, oh, I just wanted to support you,
That's
right?
very cool.
The Fall of Cardisto is about, it's a story about uh, a young lady, even though it was really about the guy that I told you
Uh,
about that
uh,
did the 8 months,
uh-huh.
right? So it is fiction
Uh-huh.
based, it's exaggerated, but it's also somewhat inspired. Just a little uh, bit about his life
Uh-huh.
and how he was always the pedestal in the
Uh-huh.
family. In this particular case, Amber um, is the person who I
Mhm.
fictionalize for the
Mhm.
story. right? And even though there are some nuggets of truth, very few nuggets of truth, it was really more inspired by saying, and the reason why I could relate to the story is because I too was put on a pedestal as a
Mhm.
child.
Mm.
Okay. I think the expectations from me, I've always wanted to achieve, but my mother, I was her favorite child. I tell all my siblings that too. I was her favorite child. But sometimes when the favorite child fails to do something, like I was married and pregnant at 19 years old. At that point, I became somewhat of a fallen pedestal, even though my mother embraced me and helped me raise my children. I was married, successfully married. I had an amazing husband. Um, I still, in her eyes, disappointed my
Mm.
mother. And to me, that is a sign of a
Sure
fallen
do.
pedestal.
Do.
But that's what it's about. And related to, you know, choices and decisions and some irresponsible behaviors that we all make.
Yeah.
And, at that point, that was not what our parents'
Mm.
expectations was for
Mhm.
us.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
It's powerful.
It's a really good read. I've been told. I've been told. Uh,
Wow. How long ago did you write this?
I wrote this about a year.
Oh, wow.
About a year
Oh,
ago. It was about a
that's
year ago.
recent. That's recent. That was like yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. It was about a year ago. And actually, my publisher is pushing me to write another
Mhm.
book, not
Mhm.
fiction. He wants me to write it on financial
Mhm.
literacy.
That would be interesting.
So I just honestly just don't have the time right now because, I'm trying to embrace this AI stuff, but
Pretty soon you will
I
have the
yeah,
time. Once you embrace the AI stuff, it will give you the time for sure. Uh,
yeah, I definitely want to write a book about financial literacy and the importance behind it and how relevant it
Mhm.
is. And so
Mhm.
yeah, so at some point, maybe during the holiday season,
I'll
I'll focus
start
on that.
putting for your family, your clients, your community. What does that look like when you think about legacy?
Legacy to me is what I'd like to be remembered as. Um, I want my children to say, "My mom be got her PhD when she was 67 years
Mm,
old," because all of my children are degreed. They have their master's degrees, but not one family member in my lineage have ever achieved a PhD.
Mhm.
I would be the
okay.
first. So when my grandchildren, and the youngest one is
Mhm.
5, decide that she just want to take a break out of college after complete her master's, or that she never go at all, she could always remember there's no age limit on what you can accomplish and achieve,
Mhm. I know.
right? And that she can certainly go even in her 60s or in her 70s for that matter
Mhm.
and still be able to accomplish and achieve her goals, whether she's still pursuing a master's degree or whether she's working on her doctorate or whatever it
Mhm.
is. But that was what drove me to that process in my life. And that's what legacy means to
Mhm.
me is that um, you know, passing it down through generation. And even from a financial perspective, my kids are very accomplished. Uh, I think that people, when they think of legacy, they think of it from a financial perspective, but it's not always about your financial
Yeah.
aspect. It's about our
Yeah,
values too.
absolutely. Yeah. That's very so true. So, we got some closing insights now.
Okay.
What's one financial habit or mindset shift you recommend to every entrepreneur, especially women or people looking to build, looking, you know, looking to build new wealth? What is,
Ask me that
yeah,
question again. Start
yeah,
from the
sure. What's
beginning.
the one financial habit or mindset shift that you recommend to every entrepreneur, especially women or people new to building wealth?
Financial habit.
Or mindset shift, or
That's
mindset shift.
really, yeah, a mindset shift. We are creatures
Mhm.
of habit. That's one of the things that we are. I will say that. It's got to be a mindset. Mindset is everything. If you don't think you can, you can't. If you have the mindset, well, I can't do it, I can't accomplish it, it's never going to happen, and you're constantly walking around with that type of spirit on you and a type of mentality, it's not going to
Mhm.
happen. And I do think that if you do something enough times over and over again, y- it becomes a habit
Yes.
for you, right? So we can break habits. It's no question
Mhm.
about that. Habits and mindset, and I thank you for that question because it really kind of go
Yeah.
hand in hand. Because if you desire to change, you can change anything and accomplish anything that you want to change
Mhm.
in life. Your mindset creates your future.
Mhm.
It is a standard for your
Mhm.
future.
Yeah.
If you're constantly saying to yourself, I'm going to achieve this, I'm going to accomplish that, I believe in the power of what you
Mm.
speak will actually turn into the existence
Yeah.
of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What you
I
speak, you
do.
create.
There's no
Mhm.
question about
Mhm.
that. And so we all get caught up into, oh, I'm having a bad day. Are you having a bad day? Because there's somebody else day that's way worse than
Right.
yours. No, I've had a day that was challenging. However, I will conquer whatever it is, and nothing will defeat me.
Hmm.
And that goes back to the
Mhm.
mindset.
That's right. Okay. So, Barbara, thank you again for coming on.
Thank you for
And
having me. I really
we have a
appreciate
lot
it.
of fun. And you know what? We're just going to keep making a difference in people's lives, right? Yeah.
Amen. And I love what you're doing here.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Much success to you. I have no doubt whatsoever that this is going to be a very successful business endeavor for
Thank
you.
you.
You're a sharp lady, and I'm impressed to be a part of your
Uh,
life.
oh,
Impressed, happy, and excited about
thank
it.
you. Well, the same as said, my feelings ditto. It's right back at you. So thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you again. And thank you to everyone who
Thank you.
has joined us today and tune in to these Elite Insights with Toni Patillo. If this episode inspired you, be sure to hit subscribe and share and stay connected. Until next time, continue leading with wisdom, continue building your legacy, and continue making a difference in as many lives as you can.